Here's this. Okay, sorry guys, I got some technical difficulties here. You would have think I would have paid attention to his image not being here. But let me try this again. Let me, Shintaro, I'm going to hang up and then I'll call you right back. I think I know what the problem is. I think I messed up the settings here on the call. Your account, maybe. Nope, that is not what I meant to do. I have to... so sorry, everybody. Super so sorry. General? This is not where it is. I might have to Google this. No. So sorry. I'm freaking out. That's not it. Accessibility, that's not what I want. It's a new computer and I didn't have this setting set up to actually pull his image over. And I cannot for the life of me remember where I do that. Appearance. It should be here. Audio, video. Calling. Advanced. Here it is. Alright, here we go. I got it. Now let me just give him a call back and let's see what we got. I think I got it now.
What's up, man?
There we go. Okay, hold on a second.
I don't see myself on the...
Boom, you're here. You're live. We got you.
I'm pulling up...
Boom, you're here. You're live.
There we go.
Let me mute this a little bit. There we go.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Stayed awake from the UK. Nice. I wish there was a way I could flip our faces so it looks like I'm looking at you. Shintaro, congrats on the excellent video release. What did you just release?
Mastering Judo concepts and leg grabs for Judo. Something like that.
What did you teach in the Mastering Judo concepts?
Oh, no, it was a combination concepts.
Combinations.
So it was like just like the idea of like misdirection versus chaining the attacks. You know, these people think misdirection is the same thing as a combination, right? Like you fake forward and go backwards. It's not really a combination, right? Because it's a simple, quick misdirection. You know, you're not actively in the middle of going for something, changing your mind and going for Tanya Toshi. You've already made up your mind that you're just going to feint and go the other direction, right? So distinguishing those two different concepts. So, you know, the narrative is a little bit different when you're speaking to your athlete, things of that nature, right? And why these combinations / misdirections work, you know, and dominant position versus disadvantaged position, things of that nature.
Got it. I always cheated that philosophy in my career because I would always consider a combination anytime my opponent thinks or reacts to defending a throw so that I can do my throw. Right? Because sometimes I'll attack, like let's say I want to do Ippon Seinagi. Sometimes I'll do like Kochi 3 times, I'll do like an off the grip Ouchi, and then they start playing so much defense to that backward stuff that then I can actually just one-off my standing Seiyo.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So it's like a series of stuff.
I mean, it is technically a combination, right? Because you're using that technique to, right, look for a reaction, and then you're reading them, and they give you the reaction, you attack that reaction, that sort of a thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely higher order judo, which is sort of I like that kind of an idea, and I wanted to teach that specifically, right? As opposed to like my Ouchi, my Tayo, my Osoto versus your Ippon Seinagi, your Kochi, and your Sumi. You know, because there's no integration of the techniques when it's taught that way. Right?
You know what I've wanted to do? Maybe you and I should do this together, right? I've always wanted to build out like Judo Player A, Judo Player B, Judo Player C, Judo Player D, and Judo Player E, like these five different Judo players, and just say like, if your top level throw, right? Like let's say that's Uchimata, for example. Yeah. You need like these throws. Like this is your wheel. This is your toolbox.
Yeah.
If you're a Seoinage guy, like, this is your toolbox. If you're a Taio player, this is your toolbox. Because I think a lot of people, they just focus on, like, these bigger ones, and they can't do what you're talking about, right? Where it's like, let's blend, like, here's the combinations. But if your main focus is Uchimata, for example, there's only so many different combinations, but there's, like, supporting throws.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think people, like, get those paths and those types of players, like, all sorts of confused, lost, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And, that's great, man, and how it integrates with gripping and hand position and all these different things. Because, for instance, like, if you're an Ippon Seoinage guy, there's a lot of diversity. There's more depth, right? Because you could attack off one hand, and you could fake the Ippon Seoinage, and then when they drop their body, you could go over the back and do sumi. I know I've been caught with that.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. But, it's tricky, right? Because when you're a master gripper and then, you're fighting for position and there's a threat that you could get thrown with the Ippon Seoinage, and then you're aware of it, and then now you're getting out-gripped, and then you have a series of stuff, and there's that progression. Yeah, it's completely different ballgame, and there's so much more depth to your judo. So, yeah, that's a great idea, man. Love that idea. Love to work on that with you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would benefit as like just pick your throw, like in Pokemon. Start with this thing, like this is your thing, and then once you do that, you could get so much better faster if you just ignored the 60% of the rest of judo, and just focused on your toolbox.
Yeah, you're right, man. There's just so much noise,
Yeah.
If you're 4 and you want to do drop Seoinage, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you go down that path?
But that would be like the other thing to like player A, right? Like a body type, or and weight class, right? Because certain techniques only perform well in certain weight classes, and like Uchimata can kind of go across the board, but heavyweights are more like can Ouchi style hopping, where like the lightweights can be more like traditional.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I thought about trying to make a chart for it all and like piece it all together and then film it as like player A, player B, and just pick your player, like a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's so much depth to judo that just doesn't get explored.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the way, one of the things that I was trying to explain in some of my DVDs is like if you can also attack from losing position. Right? Yeah. If you're now gripped, you could do a sumi, tomonage, drop Seoinage. You just can't do.
I call those my get out of jail free cards.
Yeah, man, they're
get out of jail free.
You definitely need it. So if you could integrate that with your winning system, and then you could have your one-handed judo and your two-handed judo systems. Yeah, man, if you have that toolbox and you package it all nicely, so much better than going in. It's like, this is Ouchi, do it 10 times. This is Taio. Do it 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, right, just figure it out in Randori. That almost never works.
Yeah.
So
even as far as like piecing together, like, hey, if you're an Uchimata guy, this is how you set up your transitions, and these are Newaza techniques for you. If you're a drop Seiyo guy, these are your transitions. Like, how do you do a drop Seiyo and transition into Newaza when you're on bottom? Like, how do you solve those problems? Because that's a different problem than like your unorthodox Georgian, Russian gripper and all that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thought. Somebody put it here into chat. They said we should run our own promotion for judo with its own rule set, for own version of rule sets. Let me ask you this: what would be your hybrid rule set? Because I've thought about this for a little bit. I've thought about it.
Yeah. I think like you get 3 Shidos and you're out, right? That's just kind of how it is. 3 penalties and you're out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like this goes back to the leg grab thing that people kind of spam over and over. But if you could go for a leg grab and you could score with it, it's like, God bless you, you got it, you get the score. If you go for a leg grab and you don't score, then you get a Shido. So essentially you get 3 shots.
Now let me throw this by you, because I thought about this. What if you could use leg grabs only as takedowns, but you could never score?
Oh, that's a nice little interesting.
Right, like if you come in like Uchimata and I tag Gurumi you, I'm not going to get a score.
Yeah.
like because I grabbed your leg, but it gives me the ability to A, get out, and B, transition.
Dude, that's a beautiful idea, man.
Right?
Judo so much more dynamic.
And it would stop people when they're down to like just shooting and trying to run you over, because they still need traditional judo to get actual scores, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, man. I think they need to do something. I do like the new rule sets, what it did for judo, because you remember all this. I don't have to tell you, but I think your viewers might not know. Like, it gave an element of excitement to judo again, because people had their hips back and it looked like wrestling, and the Olympic Committee was getting involved with all this stuff. We're at the mercy of the IOC, right? Judo, because it's an Olympic sport, so we have to comply to some degree, all this stuff. But yeah, I think the dialogue needs to be open. If we had hybrid rules judo, it would be really exciting, for sure.
You know what else was my other thought? That this would be interesting, because I think it would make for a fun, kind of exciting match, right? What if you fought for 5 minutes regardless of the scoreboard?
Yeah, it's a good idea too. They do some of this in jiu-jitsu, right? You can't score points for the first X
No,
amount.
but I'm saying, like, you throw somebody for Ippon, like, just keep it going. Let it add up.
Let it add up.
Yeah, let's just add it. Let's just let it add up. Almost like a wrestling style. Like, we're just going to keep going unless you're so far ahead that we just got to call it quits.
Also, there's going to be a technical fault situation, like 3 Ippons is 30 points, and that's it.
Yeah, kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, man, so many people get injured, more so than already how people getting injured in judo.
No, but I'm saying, like, we hold our own event. Like, not an Olympic event. We just hold our own event and just say, this is it.
Yeah.
Let's have at it. Like, almost like a fight to win thing. Like, okay, guys, you can grab the legs, but you can't score. Right? You can only transition. And even if you throw them for Ippon, 2 Ippons doesn't end it. You're going to fight the whole time. I don't care. And I bump it up to 8 minutes.
Ooh, people are going to be gassed. Did you know?
But that's when you get like all the throws.
I mean,
right? They're going to get tired. They're going to have to actually use judo. You remember those rounds in Japan?
Yeah, those are the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 7-8 minute rounds that you have to do, man. Do you miss those?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm not a normal person though.
Yeah, man. Those guys hated you over there.
Allah's in here like, hey, I'm in if you guys organize it.
Allah's watching?
Yeah, he's in here.
He was doing a live feed just like a little while ago too, I think, on Facebook or something like that.
Was he?
Yeah, he's pretty active on here.
I am never on social media. For as much content as I put out, I'm never actually on the platforms.
You don't respond to messages when people ask you questions?
I do, but I'm not like I go to my message section like on Instagram or like my comment section on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like the actual like platform itself, where like you scroll and see what everyone's doing, I'm never over there.
Who do you follow?
I couldn't even tell you.
Really?
I couldn't even tell you.
You don't have a list of people that you follow, like, oh man, this guy put out some interesting stuff.
I never go on there. I just found out yesterday that like the entire country's in like this weird riot phase.
Yeah.
Had no idea. I like work. Like I live in my computer screen, my 20-inch screen right here. I make videos, I put out content, I edit stuff, I market. That's it. I've been sitting in my office since 7 a.m. this morning. It is 8:45.
What is your office setup right now? You have an office in your house now, or do you have a separate office from your apartment?
I had an office in my house due to quarantine because we weren't really allowed to leave. Yeah. And then inside Pedro's Judo Center, I have an office like on the second floor.
Yeah.
Like it has a door, like no windows. Like I actually have no idea what time it is outside most of the time. That's what I was telling you before we got on the call. Like I miss lunches, I miss dinners all the time.
So that office in the page was like you go up the stairs, out dojo's here to the left. Is that where the office is?
Nope. If you walk up Pedro's Judo Center doors and you're looking at the mat straight ahead, go straight across the mat. It used to be a kid's playroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back when you were here.
Right now?
Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
I gutted it. I put carpet in, painted the walls so they look white because I like things clean.
Yeah.
And then
it goes underneath that.
And then I got the bay downstairs because I work so much. I didn't want to have to travel. I don't like wasting my time. So I just got the bay downstairs, put in all my mats, and there's an office down there for like all the lead sign-ups and jiu-jitsu sign-ups.
And that's the old weightlifting room back in the day. From back, I don't even know how long ago it was anymore.
Yeah.
Jeez. Good for you, man.
Yeah, that's all I do all day. All day.
Jesus.
That's my stick.
Yeah. When are you gonna have kids?
Don't let Kalita hear that. Hopefully she's not at home listening to this, because she'll be in the comments section like, yeah, Shintaro, you tell him. You tell him. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, look at it. Somebody's in here like, hey, I'll pay to watch that event. You know what? If I didn't put this into my like USA Judo rant that I did the other day on like how I would fix it, but that would be one. I would start. There she is, right there. Look at this. Look at this. I told you right there. You tell him. I knew she would do it. I knew she would do it. But I would start like a prize event, like a prize fighting event in the United States.
That's a good idea, man. Like a Bundesliga sort of a thing from Germany.
Yep.
Kind of like that.
Yep.
I mean, people watch it. People consume this stuff, you know. I think it's got to be marketed right. And, you know, like there's so many things that we can potentially do. It's so difficult, right, with the bureaucratic way, you know, the thing is run. And, you know, I have some feelings about this stuff too. But
let's hear it.
Nah,
throw it out there.
Know, actually, I do want to talk about U.S. Judo and the different organizations and stuff. And, you know, if I would have been a little bit more prepared, like if I'd have watched, I wanted to watch your videos on your rant. But
let's rant it out. Let's go. Let's have it.
There's just so much stuff.
Let's go. Start. Doesn't matter where you start. We could start at the end problem and then work ourselves back to beginning. I mean, we could jump all over the place. This is YouTube. It doesn't have to be polished.
You know, people are, you know, let's consolidate the 3 different organizations, right? That's pretty much like, why do you have 3 different? We have 4 now.
Do we have 4?
I think if you consider like the freestyle judo movement, one of them.
That's a movement?
It's a movement.
Some of you guys, like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You guys throw out, like, I'm a judo player for sport, right? Shintaro can vouch for that. Like, I'm a sports guy.
Yeah.
When you guys, like, I'm talking strictly to, like, the YouTube people here right now. You guys, like, some of you, not all of you, and it's a very small little bit, you guys miss, like, the meaning of, like, the message due to, like, the pronunciation of a technique wrong, or like in one of my videos, right? People went crazy because I called an Ezekiel because I'm gonna. Oh, don't even get me started. I don't even care. That's not the point. That is not the point. Oh, and to my point, one of my things is I would make my own judo promotion technique guidebook strictly for Americans.
Yeah.
I want to spend less time trying to, like, America, baby, that's right. I want to spend less time trying to remember a language, to remember a technique, and just be able to do the technique.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think it's antiquated that, you know, some of the jargon, there definitely needs to be new jargon, you know. For instance, like when I reference in my own dojo, you know, right versus left, it's like, okay, you're in an RVL situation, right? Once I get into like the tsurite and the hite and all this stuff, people, it's like you got to focus on jigotai, and the advantage comes from your tsurite being able to control your opponent's jigotai. People
I don't even like following that. You're annoying me. Like, I'm just annoyed.
So
I have totally like ignored what you said because when I look at you, I hate you.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
Just because you throw it out there.
No, I mean, you know, this is a little weird Japanese flex, I guess, but
yeah,
no, I hear you on that, man. I hear you. You know, the jargon needs to evolve too with the sport, and it definitely does. But as I was saying about the U.S. Judo and the organizations, I think it's very difficult to consolidate the different organizations because how different they are culturally, you know, and I think maybe have defined roles for each one of those guys and then have a way to sort of split the pie. But, you know, it's very difficult, right? It's not the solution's probably, I really don't know the solution. You know, it's just kind of a mess the way it is, I think.
Hold on really quick. I got a super chat from Grady. Thank you for that. I don't know what the meaning is behind it though, so we'll let that slide. But just so we're clear, guys, like there are a lot of countries that don't use the Japanese terms that are world-class countries in the sport of judo. Right? Like somebody in here, Peter Yu, said Korea. They're right. They're one. They do their own do their own language.
Yeah.
Right? The Russians, the Georgians, right? They're all into like their own language.
Yeah.
The Brazilians don't use strictly Japanese terms. Right? So like I think some of them need to stay. But it's a lot easier to say your pulling hand, you know, than it is to use all of the rest of the knowledge that like you may need to know.
It's Hikite, bro.
I know it is, but I'm not gonna stoop to your level. I had a Japanese sensei. I know what it's like. I don't even use the term sensei anymore. I say coach.
Master.
No, I'm America.
What about professor? You like that one?
I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
I feel like it's a degraded term. Like as a somebody who gets a black belt, right?
Yeah.
Even in the sport of jiu-jitsu. Chris with the super chat, watching Russians test in Hudson Idanji's guy with Japanese name. Very interesting. You know what? Like when you say somebody's a professor, they have a knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? But a lot of people get their rank because of their physical attributes, not just their knowledge. There's a huge discrepancy in the knowledge to rank ratio in order to be deemed like a professor. Right? You're 18 and you're competing at the world title, you know, in IBJJF, and you're a professor. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
A little bit weird. Yeah.
Right? That should stand for something. Like, for me personally, I deem sensei as one type of person and coach as another type of person. Right?
Well,
To me, a sensei teaches you judo.
Yeah.
A coach teaches you how to win. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between the guy at your club that teaches you technique and the guy at your club who trains you.
Yeah.
Right? So there's senseis and there's coaches. And that's just a distinguishing factor for me, especially when I'm talking to people who run dojos. It's like, what do you want to be? Like, what do you really want to be? Do you want to be a sensei or do you want to be a coach? Because if you want to run a successful school, like, you're a sensei. You're a great sensei. But you don't have this competition team traveling all over the country and people trying to be world champions, and that's not your gig.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
What were you calling Jimmy? I feel like you just used to call Jimmy
Coach.
Jimmy.
Jimmy or coach.
Yeah.
I don't even think I said coach at the time. I think I just said Jimmy.
You used to be like, hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
what do you guys call you?
What was that?
What do your guys call you?
I don't let them call me sensei because I feel like that's for the old people. And I'm not an old guy, so they can call me coach or Travis.
Okay. Interesting.
Professor just means teacher in Portuguese. That's okay.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Now it makes more sense because sensei means teacher in Japanese and professor means teacher in Portuguese. I guess, okay, that's consistent. That's still not, I don't care. Of course you don't.
Well, then why don't we call all the blue belts that teach our kids' classes professors?
I don't know. I don't really know that world so well. So.
Why can't I call the 15-year-old kid here at Pedro's Judo Center, you know, sensei all the time?
Yeah.
He teaches the 4-year-olds. Why not? He helps out.
What do the kids call him? Just by their first name?
In class, they call him sensei.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying all the time. Like, he's a teacher, right, at some point.
Yeah.
So he's a teacher all the time, right? Role model, good citizen.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Off to a good start.
Grady, thank you again for the super chat. Want to be a mutant world champion. I don't know about that. You could call him an assistant sensei. But see, now you're using two languages. That's why I don't like this.
Yeah.
We have to communicate in English, but then when we talk about judo to be respectful, we have to use Japanese terms. I
I
don't know,
mean,
it's weird.
some of the major techniques, Uchimata, Taio, you pay homage to the roots.
Yes,
Uchima, you do
100%.
in the thigh throw, right? But I think the jargon does need to change to the level of our understanding, and that's why I like, wrestling, right? Because wrestling, the jargon, it goes deeper than just a single, like, high C, double leg, right? It's like pommel for inside position, and you fake the high C and go for the outside single. Now you're in the wizard position, right? You elevate it just keeps going, and then there's much more information there. And once you're able to put the words to the moves in a visualized manner, right? Then I think you're going to get to the deeper levels of judo, right? People understand it better because there's going to be sort of this connection there, right? The mind jargon connection, if you call it.
That's why in my rant, right, when I said I want to write 3 promotion systems, one for sport, one for martial arts, and one for self-defense, because I do feel like the hikite and all that stuff that like goes into like the actual martial artist sport of judo, I think it does need to be preserved.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Right? You need to learn the history. You need to know that.
Yeah. But if your goal is to win the Olympics, our job is to get you from point A to point B as fast as possible. So we got to kind of like speed this up a little bit.
Yeah.
We can't take 5 years.
The self-defense stuff too. It's like I think judo needs to push that a little bit more.
100%.
There's so much good in judo that can be used for self-defense. Of course, there's gaps in judo, right? And you can't really, breeze past that and say, judo's the perfect martial art for self-defense. You can't. You know what I mean? But there's just so many positives, right? Like if you're in a riot, protests going on, you're not pulling guard. You're not taking someone's back and you're not staying there because you're going to get your head kicked in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And, I don't know how you feel about judo as self-defense. I don't know if you've ever ranted about that, but, what are some of your thoughts there?
But that's why I think, like, in my rant for, like, fixing USA Judo, I think it should be one of the number one selling points in this country. Because when it comes to martial arts, apart from, Taekwondo, but we should be, like, the premier one. Above and beyond all else, because we can sell the self-defense, we can sell the martial art, and we can sell the sport. Because we actually have the Olympic claim to fame. You can take every, like, backwoods, like, weirdo who's like, I want to be able to defend a knife attack against 40 people guy.
Yeah.
Right? And you can make him feel like he's a part of the Olympic movement.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge thing.
You could market and sell that to millions of people.
You really can. It just hasn't really been done right. And I think there's a lot of reasons behind that, and it's unfair to blame U.S. Judo, period, or USJF or USJI or AAU, and I think it
What's
has
AAU?
I think that's the freestyle judo.
You know too much about that freestyle judo stuff. You're using all the abbreviations and like the funny terms.
Man, they have like a points for ippon, points for takedown, all sorts of cool rules that I really like looking into sometimes. It's kind of interesting.
Got way too much free time.
It starts with this, right? It starts with having money in judo, keeping money in judo, right? Educating us as teachers, educating the consumers of the product. I'm also a consumer of judo. You're also a consumer of judo, obviously, right? And then we have to educate, each other, really, because if people are coming to your dojo and it's like, hey, I expect free judo because I'm a black belt, right? But you're spending money at Starbucks for that $8 latte and you're taking $45 Soul Cycle classes, but you don't see the value in what we're doing here teaching you judo, right? That's a problem, and that mindset needs to shift. That, the commercial judo versus, labor of love, sensei shouldn't do anything for money. Your business should be bleeding money. You should have a 9th job just so you could pay for the dojo so we could have judo for $37 a month. That world needs to change a little bit, right? Because there's no clear path to financial success when you're doing judo. And that takes people out of the sport. People watch baseball. They're like, man, this is a $27 million contract. I could have a sneaker line named after me. You know what? Forget this. I'm going to go over there. And it doesn't hurt as much. And my ACLs are going to be intact. And my shoulders aren't going to be blown out. And you know what? I'll just go to Travis's dojo and get a free lesson because I'm a brown belt. You know, like that needs to stop. You know what I mean? And I think first and foremost, that has to stop right away. And if every single club doubled their membership, U.S. Judo membership will double, which means the revenues double, and then they could finally afford people who are competent. I mean, I'm not.
You know what's crazy?
People like you, they can't afford you right now.
Hold on, Shintaro. You know what's crazy? Like,
Yeah.
I want to put this out here, and like, I would never do this. So if this happens, guys, I didn't do it. But I just want to throw it out there that this is a real possibility. Okay.
Possibility.
What if?
Yeah.
What if somebody called up 5 or 6 clubs that they know that have, 150 members, and they were like, you know what, guys, let's band together, and I want all of you to cancel your USA Judo memberships. That would bankrupt USA Judo. Just think about that. Five clubs could bankrupt. They would have to lay off staff. Oh. Think about that. 5 people like me and you are 2. We are halfway to bankrupting the NGB.
You know, though, I don't push my students to get these memberships, though. I can't justify it.
No, but it like I could name it right here. We got Jimmy Pedro's,
Yeah.
Chris Skelly's, Cohen's. Who's another big competitor? What was that?
San Jose State?
They're not that big, though.
No.
But yeah, I'll throw San Jose State. I think I like 30, 40 people. You
Already
can get that.
Dojo has like 200. Is that
Boom.
true? Right
Boom.
there.
Nailed it. We just bankrupted USA Judo in 30 seconds. Right? Think about how, like, your national governing body, think about that balance beam they're walking every day from a guy just picking up the phone and shutting it down. Just like that.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. That's not even a lot of work.
No.
We could probably get that done with 10 emails.
Jesus.
Grady, thank you again for the super chat. I must say my coach let me do BJJ for free a few times when I was younger.
Yeah.
It was brotherly, and he has my loyalty. So do you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, I'm not against free judo lessons, and I give out free stuff all the time. I'm not saying don't give out free stuff. You know what I mean? But if you're willing to spend, $200 at an Equinox membership and $47 for a Soul Cycle class, that you should keep the money in judo, right? And that's ultimately going to help. It's a trickle-down effect, right? If you have 300 people in your dojo, that's, X percentage more, right, that could compete and do all these different things that's going to give back to the community. You know what I mean?
We got a super chat from Omega Supreme with cheese. 2 of my favorites. 2 thumbs up for the hostile takeover of USA Judo. Guys, I don't want to take it over. I don't want to.
Start a new one. We'll start the 5th judo organization for that. Yeah. What will we provide? Insurance? What else will we do? We'll do the 3
You know what's
systems.
crazy? You're a dojo owner, so you know this, right? For those of you guys who don't know, you could, for $100 a year, you could get a USA Judo insurance for your club for $100 a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what it costs to get it outside of USA Judo? Like $1,300. So they left $900 on the table.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Somebody somewhere sat at a table and said, hey, for you to get this without me, it's $1,000. And they went, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to give you 90% off. Somebody did that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild. Jesus. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
here we go. James says, Higashi, I'm a blue belt in BJJ and want to know if I can come to your school and learn the fundamentals of judo. I will be a member fee.
Yeah, sure. Of course, you could do a mat fee situation. I don't know what the COVID situation now, but when things go back to normal, for sure. We're all not teaching judo now and not doing judo now, but definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against people lose their jobs here. Let me help you out. Concessions on the membership and things like this. I'm not saying that, but the mindset needs to change, right? Judo has to be run a little bit more professionally across the entire board.
I think in my first rant that I did with the USA Judo and whatever it was, I actually don't have a problem with the organization. My big problem is with the people, the actual American judo community. Just because they don't value information, and they actually they look at me, right? They look at me, and I'm saying me as a high level athlete or somebody who's trying to reach their goal in sport. They look at me as I'm the guy on a street corner that doesn't have a job looking for a handout and some petty cash to be able to go do this thing. And that's the number one thing that drives me nuts. When a kid actually uses the idea of not getting funding to go on a trip, and people shell out the money. But then you have somebody on the other side of the table, right, that doesn't need the money. Maybe they're retired, maybe they're whatever, and they're trying to hold a seminar. They can't charge what they're worth. The idea of a $7,500, $50 seminar for judo, non-existent. Not without you or somebody going to the Yadanchikai trying to get funds to pay the guy and then letting the students come for free. Yeah. It drives me nuts.
You know what it is, man? And I think it goes down to this, I don't want to say price fixing, right? Because that's illegal, right? You can't.
Well, it's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah, that's true. But all the auto manufacturer can't say yo, we're all going to sell our cars for $30,000 plus, then everyone makes their margin. Obviously, you can't do that. But you could sort of price signal, right? And be like, hey, man, Travis, I'm going to be charging $200. I know we're, 50 miles away or 30 miles away. Just so I'm charging $200. You're like, all right, I'll charge around the same. You know what I mean? A lot of these clubs started competing on price. California is a great example. Oh, this guy's charging $80. We're going to charge $70. We're going to charge $30. And before you know it, everybody has to work a 9-to-5 job just to keep their bleeding businesses afloat. And, that kind of thing, really just ruins it for everybody, right? It ruins it for everybody. And now the consumers are used to getting judo, 1 month of judo for $40. Why would they pay $80 to see an Olympian? But that $80 is not even a pair of basketball shoes.
Pair of basketball shoes? I can't go out to dinner with Kalita for $80.
Yeah, I'm just saying, right? So it's it's the craziest thing. This value mindset completely gets skewed because of the way, pricing has.
By the way, everybody, I am super happy that he didn't want to talk about this, and now he's talking about this. I just want to let you guys know that. I'm so glad we pulled it out of him.
It's a shame. It's a shame. But we definitely need to not price fix. That's illegal, but. Have certain standards, right, in order to have athletes be able to pay their way. You know what I mean? Why shouldn't a top-level athlete say, hey, I want to do a seminar for $100 a head at, X, Y, and Z, and they could do it like that, and they could fund their Olympic dream.
You know what else drives me nuts? Drives me absolutely insane? The argument that judo should be in the school systems. Drives me absolutely insane. I don't know, nobody knows this, but I actually get a little red, internally, and I have this, mini rage about how stupid that idea is.
Why?
Okay, first of all, let's say you did it. Let's say, okay, we're going to put judo in all the high schools. We're only going to go high school. Let's just say.
There's not enough qualified.
You couldn't even do it.
No way. There's no way.
You couldn't take every member who has a card in USA Judo, the JA, the JF, the JA, doesn't matter. You couldn't even take every member and then make them go to a high school and teach it. You couldn't do it. So the whole idea, and then people are going to go, well, what if you just did it geographically and you just focused it in on an area? And it's but to what end?
Yeah, it's not really much. And that's not really going to help, the private dojo owners, and it's not really going to help judo as a whole, I think. It'll get judo in front of more people, but I think it'll get a lot of bad judo in front of a lot of people that are gonna think like this is judo. You know, it's like it's nuts. I know people who successfully run school programs like this guy.
Okay, hold on, Shintaro. Here's another thing. Let's say let's just go down crazy road really quick. Let's go down crazy road.
We're not already on crazy road?
No, we're not there yet. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Grady, thank you again for the super chat. I'm glad we're able to get some of your questions answered. And by the way, if you're going to seminars and paying for it and people aren't answering your questions, you should slap that person. I don't care who they are, just hit them. Like,
I'm advocating violence here. That's not me. That was old Travis right there.
He didn't tell you not to either. But let's go down crazy road.
Yeah, okay. I'll play this game.
We can't afford, right? We can't afford to even do this, but let's just say this. Everybody right now complains. That's my other problem. Is like everybody complains, but they don't offer a solution.
Yeah.
Right? It's like bitching to bitch. Like they just want to hear themselves complain. Like they want to be a part of the collective group who are complaining, so they're just going to complain and not know why.
Yeah.
But let's assume that you got 20 people to actually go into a little geographical area and put it in the high schools that are qualified to actually teach this program. How would you even pay them?
I mean, I would think the Department of Education would pay if you're in the school systems, right? Are you talking public or private schools?
You tell me. I would assume it would have to be private because they're the only people that could actually afford to pay for the mats and pay for the gis.
Yeah, I think they did something like this. This guy who runs Fortress, this guy Mike Novogratz in the city, he did like a wrestling initiative, put all these wrestling programs in schools. But, the thing is, there's a lot more qualified wrestling candidates who could teach wrestling than there was judo.
You know
right?
why? You know why? Because there's a lot of people wrestling.
Yeah. And the only way to get those numbers of judo is to help the dojo.
But you know why? You know why there's a lot of people wrestling? You know why?
There's no alternative options that are just as good?
Nope.
Why?
Because wrestling started as a male-only sport. Therefore, like, you can't go into the school system as male-female. Right? That's just right now. Like, when you go into a school system, like an NCAA sport or a high school sport, there has to be a male-female equivalent. It can't just be the male.
With the Title IX, that's what that says, right? So like, I remember when I wrestled in college, it was like wrestling, and then we had softball for the women, right? And they balanced each other out in terms of like how many on the roster, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I think you can now, no?
You can now. Wrestling can do it now. But I'm saying way back in the day when like the Dan Gables wrestled and like all those people wrestled, it was male only.
Yeah.
It was a male sport. And there was a female equivalent sport.
Yeah, like softball.
Right now, you would have a huge, just like, how would you coach the females? Like, just the number of females in the sport to female coaches to be able to, like, figure it out. Coaches in high school get paid nothing. So, Doug, that brings me to my point. I'm glad Doug brought this out. Right? Coaches in high school get paid nothing unless they're already a teacher that are at the school, right? They probably get like a little extra bonus.
Yeah.
But to my point, to the coaches like not being able to get paid, it's like I'm supposed to take my time, spend money on my gas, to drive somewhere to coach, to not get paid. Like I got to spend money to be able to provide a free service. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, insane. I hate the idea of being in the school system. I hate it. I think it's a cop-out. I think that's just people saying, hey, I want to teach, but I don't want to buy mats. I don't want to put a lease down. I don't want to write a curriculum. I don't want to be responsible for anything. I just want to teach people how to do judo because I'm super qualified to do so.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was a sarcastic super qualified. You're probably not qualified at all.
You're savage.
Allah, that was my point. That's why I thought you'd have to put it in the private schools because they're the only ones that could actually afford it.
I mean, DOE has some nice, they have some...
For reference, everybody, Washington State has high school judo in the high schools. as coaches and mats and teams.
How many programs do you think they have?
I think there's 8.
I feel like in Hawaii they must do this sort of a thing, right?
They do. It's in all the school systems in Hawaii.
You
Which
know,
brings me right to my other crazy point. Right? And people might think I'm just being super like negative right now. But judo is in all the high schools in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Where are all the talented people?
I mean, you got Taylor Takata coming out.
You got one. Okay. We're going all the way back to 2008, by the way, people, in case you didn't know who he was. Come on, Shintaro, let me hear it.
Man,
let me hear it.
You know, there's Troy Nickerson. He's a wrestler.
There you go.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm sure there's talented judoka out there.
But where are they?
I don't know. They're in Hawaii, on the beach. Why would you leave? I don't know, man.
And they have good judo players there. They just don't, they just don't pursue anything. And the crazy part about it is, if people don't actually pursue the Olympics, USA Judo goes under and our national team goes under because it's based on results. Crazy.
Is that right? Based on results?
Yeah.
You mean the amount of funding that they get from the IOC?
Yeah. Well, the USOC.
But that's not their bulk of their revenue. The bulk of their revenue comes from membership, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me back that up a second.
Yeah.
They get more money from the USOC to fund programs that ensure development to win Olympic medals. It's somewhere around like $500,000.
Okay. Annually?
Annually.
Okay. Which isn't that much if
no.
If you're trying to
when Kayla and I started and Marty started in the under 23 team, I think that budget was like it was crazy low. It was like 480, 420, 520. It was somewhere right around like $500,000. And then when we did 12 and then we won in 16, it got all the way up to like 630.
So what are like the major medal producing sports get?
I have no idea.
All right, so
but you know what's crazy? Just so that people like have a reference number, and you guys can actually go check this. USA Wrestling on membership alone, and actually guys, just so that you're aware, when you wrestle in high school and middle school and elementary school, when you wrestle in the school system, you don't need a USA Wrestling card. Right? Not required.
Yeah.
USA Wrestling, with just their memberships through their dues, like through the card, like a USA Judo card, $5 million annually.
Wow. It's impressive.
Just through membership. That doesn't include like, what was that?
What about USA Judo? I'm gonna guess like $300,000-$400,000. Is that right?
Let me just do the math. Right.
What is their annual revenue? 800,000.
700. That's their membership.
200,000 then. That really is not. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
You know what else is a crazy thought, Shintaro? You've been in the sport a long time. You've been in the sport a really long time, and I don't claim to know it all, but I'd like to get your input on this because I might not be thinking of something. What was the last? What's the word I'm trying to use? Revenue generating thing USA Judo did. Like a program that actually generated revenue. Like we know they do tournaments, the few of them, right? Yeah. And they took all of our memberships from $50 to $70.
Yeah.
But what is the one like thing that they went out and did that was like, hey, we're gonna spend this money, but we're gonna make some money? In all your years of judo, what was it?
I don't know, man. Firing Jose Rodriguez and then bringing in Keith Bryant? Potentially. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Jesus.
But he did.
I did. Yeah, but there was a lot of controversy with that too, right? They were selling T-shirts through a private company, right? And the money wasn't going to USA Judo, from what I understand, and things
That's
like that.
because the board actually, I think what happened was Jose, there used to be this weird fund, right? And then Jose tried to use it and they wouldn't let him. So Jose gave up his salary for USA Judo for whatever the merchandising brought in that he paid for.
Yeah, I don't really know the details on that, but
I'm actually not sure either. I've only heard nits and bits of it.
From what I understood, that he set up a own LLC that sold shirts, and he made US Judo buy from them, and then in return sold the merch from USA Judo outwards. So the money was sort of flowing from the consumers USA Judo to his company. That's what I heard, right? Don't quote me on this. I may be wrong. This is just a rumor that I heard, So I guess that's a revenue driving thing, right? You stop doing that, Yeah, there's a lot of stuff during our time. Well, you were in it a little bit longer, than me, but the time when I was in there, there's a lot of weird, shady, sort of situations going on. I think I like the new CEO. I think he's, at least a little bit more approachable, I guess. And I think he's,
I'm definitely not approachable.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. Revenue generating thing that the USA Judo did. I can't really remember, man. There are ideas that I have. They should double down on masters, I think, because that's what's going to bring in the money. There's tons of masters judo people who can use it. No one wants to go to Irving, Texas. Okay, can we stop this Irving, Texas?
I think what happened was USA Judo signed like a massive commitment.
Yeah, why would they do that? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. Maybe the deal was too good to give up. Who knows? No one really knows, right? But
at the end of the day, right, when you're broke, a deal is a deal. Like you gotta take it.
Yep. Honestly, man, the best way is to build the judo from the ground up. Helping you, helping me, people who own dojos double their revenue, right? Because if our membership doubles, their membership dues double, right? And if their tournaments have 500 competitors, now all of a sudden they're going to have 1,000 competitors. You know what I mean? So it has to be a bottom-up approach where they help us as business owners and senseis to coach, teach us.
What's crazy?
What's that?
You kind of inherited the club from your father, right?
Yeah.
Right? So when was the last time any resources came your way as a dojo owner to help you?
Never.
Right?
Never.
Right?
Never was. And that's something that I want to provide if I'm ever in that position to be able to provide. I have to take care of my own first. I have to make sure my students' needs are met and I'm doing a good job and I'm still learning, and I call, I speak to you and speak to these people and trying to speak to the best in the industry to learn, right? You have to do your market research, right? So I can provide the best service. And then once that's really done, I want to be able to be in a position where I can help the next generation of dojo owners and stuff. But for me as a consumer of the USA Judo product, yes, they gave me a platform where I could compete. I'm very grateful for that. I'll forever be, right? But as a dojo owner, no resources really come my way. And they can argue like, hey, we provide insurance services, but, it's not.
But it doesn't because for you, right? Oh, this drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Look, guys, it is super hard. And if USA Judo actually had like a business guy, like, and I'm an idiot at the end of the day, right? Like, I'm not educated. I have no college degree, didn't do it, got thrown out of San Jose State, left college, followed judo passionately. But if you sat down at a table and you were like, hey, Shintaro, this is what I got for you. Here's your sales pitch, right? You're gonna pay me $100, right? I'm gonna insure your club for a year. All you have to do is you have to sign up all your students for $70. And here's your sales pitch, Shintaro. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down with your first student and you're going to charge them $150 a month. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to take that $150 and you're going to double it because you're going to tell that guy, you know what? You got to buy a judo gi. And you know what? You're going to cut him a break. You're not going to double it. You're only going to give it to him for $75. Because you know what? I'm going to get you a deal for a wholesale gi, and it's only going to cost you $50. So you're going to make $25.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to have that person, you're going to tell them, hey, I know you're spending over $200 and I know it's scary and I know you got to make a 6-month commitment to my club and you're signing on the dotted line. But you know what? Before you can train here, you got to pay USA Judo $70. I know you're not sure if you want to sign up for judo now. You're really willing to make a commitment, but you got to pay them $70 just to be in this room, really.
Yeah.
So now you've kind of taken your entire membership and just doubled it just to have a $100 insurance fee. It's like it's such a crazy sales pitch.
It really is, man. It's a friction point that we already don't need. You know what I mean? And then so it's like, okay, to justify all the money that we're kicking back to them, what are they giving us in return? You know, because I get my own personal insurance through an outside company because it's a lot easier that way. It's like, hey, I have this many members. How much is it per head? You know, I do this thing. I make my payments and premiums every month. You know, no problem, right? If someone
and you know what? You're covered for a lot more.
Oh yeah, 100%.
A lot, and it's not a lot more expensive.
No. So
if anybody here runs a school, you should seriously look at it. Like, even if you have the USA Judo Insurance because you want to support them, like, look at getting your own insurance because there's some weird loopholes in the USA Judo one that, like, you're going to want your own insurance just for, like, weird things. Like, icicle falls from the top of your, rain gutter and stabs a guy in the shoulder.
I think it's not even that weird, too. Like, if you're doing judo with someone that doesn't have the membership, potentially it may not cover, or I had never really read the fine print, but that could potentially be something that you got to watch out for that kind of stuff, right? And
here's another crazy one, right? Because again, I'm not against USA Judo. There's just some weird business practices and some like easy revenue generating things that have been grossly overlooked that I'm like, what are we doing?
I mean, they don't have the manpower, right? Or man-woman power, human resources to be able to implement a lot of these things, I think. And it's because they don't have money.
You know why? You know why? Because there's so many free people doing judo that feel like they deserve to have a voice because it's free.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't have a problem with USA Judo. I think they're all capable people. But I think they're bogged down by people. I think in one of my rants I talked about how like weird it is that like you as a yellow belt can call the CEO of the organization and just be like, hey man, like I got to call the front office. Like I got to get this thing taken care of.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. It should definitely not be that way. And yeah, what a weird thing, huh? What a weird thing.
Crazy. You know what else is crazy?
What's that?
I'm not on the West Coast, but what does the JF and JA do? I know the JF gives out like $300,000 a year to like the Yadancha guys. They each get like $5,000 to, develop judo.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think USJF is their whole spiel is that we're a grassroots organization, right? IJF, International Judo, US Judo handles the international competition. We're all about developing grassroots judo at the local level. I think that's their biggest thing.
Also, they're the ones that should have been helping you with your school.
Yeah, technically, and I do belong to them, and I do sit on a couple of different committees and stuff like that.
Also, you sit on the committee. You're that guy.
I do. I go to these meetings sometimes, and I try my best to voice my opinions. But
so, where were you with my 6th degree rank? Where were you, Mr. JF?
I mean, I might have been there. Maybe I wasn't. I would never vote against you. I have. I'm very fond.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a very bizarre place, and I think we do get too caught up with debating minutia, right? And things don't get done as fast as people want them to because most of these people are on a volunteer basis. No one's getting paid to do any of it. People are spending the last USJF meeting that I went to was a 3-day situation, and we had all these things charted out. Everyone spent their own money, spent their own time, in these rooms.
Wait a minute. You went to a 3-day, let's get some shit done, JF meeting?
It was actually for the Master Judo certification.
What?
Program. Yeah.
What is a Master's Judo cert? I'm a master. I didn't even know it existed.
A Master Judo certification.
Am I not? I'm over 30.
No. It's not Master's. It's a Master certification for Master instructors. So this guy, Mitch Palacio. Do you know Mitch Palacio?
Of course not.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He was like a Pan Am champ back in the day. He's like one of those old judo lifetime guys. He teaches at a university, does judo, and he's like, all right, we have to educate the instructors. People don't know how to teach judo. We have to change this.
I like this guy already.
Yeah, I love it. And he's kind of like us, and he was a competitor, and he's like, we got to change this. We're going to systemize it. And then so he got all these people to come to his seminars.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. I just got to pop this question up here from Hey Blinken. Stupid question, but how the F do you get anything done when everyone's a volunteer?
You don't.
Anyways.
That's the thing. You don't. You can't, you know?
So back to this guy.
Yeah, so he came up with this sort of instructor course that's, is pretty good. It's pretty good. But all these people who are going to take that and then implement it in their schools, probably not. They're stuck in their ways. They've been teaching judo Osotogari for the same way for 30 years, right? At least this program tries to give it a little bit of structure and organization, right? Because people are teaching judo in the dark a lot of these times. You know what I mean? So I went for that, and then in between that master certification, there were all these like executive meetings.
But did you pass your certification?
Yeah. So under that whole world, I'm a master certified instructor.
Can I see the certificate?
I haven't gotten it yet. It's been
so you haven't passed it yet. It's not official until you can put that certificate on the wall.
I got an email from Mitch saying, hey, you did a great job. You passed. I haven't gotten the certificate yet.
How long was the test?
We didn't have a test.
What?
Yeah, it was observation-based. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean it was observation-based?
So it's like we do these little breakout situations, and you would do these like little lessons and mini lessons and sample lessons, and you would do it in front of there was probably 40 people there, and then
you would just teach judo at like a clinic. You would just teach judo to the group.
Essentially, yeah. And then you would be in these little groups, teaching the thing, and then we were talking about hook, and then trying to.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't one of those things where everybody gets a trophy, right?
I don't think some people passed. I don't think some people should have passed.
Okay, now let me back this up a step.
Yeah.
Is this like an everybody passes like a driver's test? Like it's stupid proof for the most part? Like you got to try not to pass your driver's test.
I don't really know because I don't know how many people passed and how many people failed.
But I'm saying based on your like you've done judo, you've competed on the world stage, you've done judo your entire life. Like looking at that test, was it a complicated test or was this like hey, everybody gets a trophy test, and if you don't pass, it's because you should probably never put a judo gi on again, including a white belt, and just stay away from the sport? Is it one of those tests?
There's no test.
The whole thing was a test, you said.
Kinda.
If you can pass and fail, it's a test.
Yeah, I guess it's
like a first date. Like you can pass or you can fail. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, no, it's one of, but I love the initiative. I love what he was doing with it.
Whoa! You didn't answer my question.
What? Yeah, it was a very, it was an interesting experience. Let's just put it that way.
Can't wait till Travis starts to run judo programs in the U.S.
Yeah, that should be. But no, it was this guy Mitch. I think he knows what he's talking about, and he did a great job presenting the information, teaching it. It's like how do you draw attention from your new members, right? How do you make it relevant to those people? And these things that sort of go over the heads of a lot of these people were like, hey, just watch how good my Osoto is. Let me just show you my Osoto. It's like, no, I'm not here for that, right? And relating to your new members and things like this, and I think it's helpful to be explicitly taught to these teachers who never really have a teaching background.
I'm not against practical test. I just want to know if it is a test. That's all. I get it. I'm all for like, I was going to get upset if there wasn't a demonstration like actually showing that you can teach a technique without using terms like, like this, and then you throw a guy.
Yeah.
Or like you grab here without like knowing where here is. Like stupid terms that should never be used when you're coaching, right? That like
just throw the guy. You just go like this and you just throw him.
That's for like coaches who are training like elite level athletes. Like they get it. Like they know what they're supposed to do. They're just not doing it. So you just need to verbalize yourself as a coach being upset at the athlete for not doing their job. Because they know how to, they're just not doing it because they're tired, they're stressed, they ate a burrito before practice, whatever it is.
Yeah. But he's he's doing a good job with it, I think, and that's the problem with the bureaucracy where everyone's volunteering, right? And I know I'm guilty of it because there was a master's certification instructor sort of committee, and they had, probably 8 Zoom meetings, and I, didn't go on any of them, and that's on me. You know what I mean?
You know why? Because there's no value.
I mean, I want to provide, value to these people and help, and I want to be a part of it, but honestly, sometimes at the end of the day, it's like, all right, am I going to go play with my daughter, or am I going to get on this Zoom meeting for, 3 hours talking about...
You'd do it if I paid you to be on that call, and it was your job.
Oh, yeah, of course. And that's the problem, man. There's not enough money in judo when the consumer wants free judo, right, to have the money to pay these people to do it. The paradigm has to shift, right?
And you know what's crazy? This argument drives me nuts. Because people always say, well, it's America, right? If somebody's doing a bad job, like an entrepreneur should just come in and do a better job and people will follow.
Yeah.
But in our case, we don't hold the Olympic rights. Like they don't compete for us. They're always going to have to be pulled back to the other side. Right? And even through Project 2024, right? We had the best coaches in the country working for us, like some of the best judo players this country's ever produced. And we had people refusing to hire them for personal clinics because they worked for Project 2024. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Was there a clash between 2024 and USA Judo?
I believe they thought there was, yeah. 100%. We saw it as, hey, USA Judo, you don't have the means or the funds in order to pay attention to this demographic of kids. Let us do it. Yeah. And then they blocked us every chance they could, and it drove us insane. It still drives me insane to this day.
I mean, I kind of get it from their perspective too, right? They don't want to relinquish control completely,
But they don't do anything with it.
No, they don't.
It's like a kid. It's like a kid who has 2 toys and they're playing with one, but you can't play with the other.
Yeah.
Right? But like, that's mine. No, you can't play with that. I want it. And then they go back to their toy over here, and then when they see you getting close to playing with it, they start playing with it. Yeah. And then they just keep like changing toys.
I mean, I get it too. $700,000 to run your company, a national governing body, right? Like just the entirety of U.S. Judo. That's not enough money, How are they going to hire the right people to do the right job? They can't, and how are they going to, their resources are so limited, right? So they need to collaborate. They need to do all these things and allocate these resources properly.
You know what else is crazy?
Do it is investing in people like me and you who are on the front lines of this stuff.
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Super crazy. You know how people are always like, man, why can't you just get a sponsor? Why can't you just get a sponsor? You know why? Because the people that judo attracts due to like the lack of pay, like you're in New York City, right? So you're in like the wealthy part of like the country.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, our demographic is not usual.
When was the last time you saw somebody that had like an endless bank account do something for free?
I mean,
would they go learn how to like throw darts to like the place for free?
You talk about the wealthy students in my school?
Just wealthy people in general. Like when was the last time you knew somebody, because you live in a wealthy part of the country, that was like, you know what? I want to take up learning how to bowl. So I'm going to go to the place where they teach me for free instead of hiring like the local pro at like the bowling alley.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, they understand value a lot better, right? These guys know, and then that's part of, right, my value, right? I need to show them what I'm worth, what my value is. It's a value proposition, right? And then I think they understand that, this guy's the best, right? As opposed to I could go to this, judo school where I could get judo for $30 a month. I think they understand that there's a reason why there's a premium paid at my school.
But
right?
just in general, right? Like if you have a ton of money,
Yeah.
right? And you or even if you're like super well off, right? You don't have to actually think about your bills. Like you could buy whatever you want, whenever you want for the most part. We're not talking like yachts and like Ferraris, but just in general, right?
Yeah.
When you're looking for something, you're not looking for free. Like you understand that you have a little bit of money and you're willing to like pay for it. Like most of you right here, like probably listening to this, and there's some exceptions, but you don't like get excited to like go cut out coupons to save money, even though you have the opportunity to. You know why? Because you have the money to spend on it. And people that have the time and B, the money, and they want to spend it on something like an activity, they look for a sport where they can spend it. They don't look in the discount section for free stuff.
Yeah.
And some people do like coupons or like deals. I get it.
Yeah.
And that's why every school should be priced high so that you could cut a deal on holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that, and I think it really does help if they can allocate some of those resources. I'm not saying like give me money or give me handouts or give me whatever. I'm just saying like educate a lot of these other dojo owners, right? Instead of having this competition mindset of like my dojo, my students, don't talk to my people, right? We need to sort of get together and really work together and share the knowledge so we could all grow as a whole. But we need to grow the entire pie, not fight over the scraps that that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to fight over scraps, not me. I'm saying a lot of these people in the industry, they just don't know any better. Right? Oh, that dojo is $50. Dude, just come to my dojo, right? We'll give you 2 months free, a free gi, and then you can only have to pay $45 a month. You know what I mean?
And before you know it, they're into judo for a year and the instructor has still lost money.
Yeah, they're losing money. That's why these guys do 9 to 5s. It's right. You live the full judo life. I live the full judo life, and then there can be more of us, right? Can you picture 10 more of you? It'll be a scary place for sure, but like 10 more of you running the same similar business in like the Northeast region. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what these tournaments will be like? How much, and if you guys could all collaborate together to grow judo together as a whole, right? USJ Judo needs to be able to do that, and it wasn't until like, for instance, you have to have a contract in your school. It's crazy not to have a contract. People have this argument of like, no, month to month, we'll never do a contract. But it's like a person comes into the dojo for a month hurts everybody, and then they leave, right? Like that's really messed up. You have to protect yourself from things like this. A person comes into the dojo, charms you, and you spend all your time teaching this one guy. It's like, this guy's going to be a champ, or I really like this guy. And then he leaves. At the end of the month, all these other people, they didn't get the attention that, this kid got, and he's gone. So it's like a lost opportunity. You have to think about opportunity costs, right? All these different things. Like, hey, I'm committed to teaching you judo fully. You have to commit to me too, right? And that should be the basis of all of it. Not this nonsense of like, oh, I don't like doing contracts because my sensei didn't do contracts, and we're not a commercial gym. I do this for the love of the sport. It's like, please. You know what I mean? You have to really kind of open your eyes here a little bit, and then. This is my little rant. See, now you got me right.
I love it. I told you I was going to get you started. But I got a super chat here from Jay. So you're selling their insurance, selling their membership, and train a future generation of competitors, and USA Judo isn't paying for these services? Not even a little bit.
I'll be right back, Travis. I'm going to go to the restroom for 2 seconds.
What? You better come back.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Omega Cheese, thank you for the super chat. You need a cert on running successful businesses. 100% they do. Grady with the super chat. I hate certifications. I love it. But the problem with the certification is it actually has to provide value. Meaning, as a school owner who took on this certification, they should be able to put that plaque, like Shintaro has the Paris poster there on his wall. You should be able to take that plaque and go, boom, and smash it on the wall and say, hey, I want 175 a month. I know the school down the road is 125 a month, but like I'm actually certified to be able to help you and coach you and look, this is why you're going to pay me more money. Like it has to have some sort of perceived value from the community to make it worth your time and your dollars in order to pay for it to have it. Because if you're just paying for it to have it, then we're just wasting money.
What are we ranting about now?
So they were saying, I got a super chat on a guy that said we need a cert on running a successful business. And then the other guy was like, super chat, I hate certifications. And I was just saying, like, the certification actually has to provide enough value so a school owner can charge more than the school owner next to him because he has it.
Yeah.
Right? He should be able to raise the price of his membership.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like healthcare, right? You can't just incentivize in, healthcare, period. It's just kind of a messed up system, right? And, if we're just running it commercially and that's our only goal is the bottom line, then we're going to make T-shirts mandatory. We're going to make mandatory rash guards, and we're going to do this and all these add-ons and patches, and it goes really too crazy down the other paths of other martial arts that have done it just for the profit, right? We're just saying just enough business acumen for people that can do it full time and make a respectable living without trying to bleed their students dry, right? The goal has to be, I'm teaching judo, that's my mission, right? But I could live off of this.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to do, right? It's not purely a business situation.
Like for me, right? Like I own a jiu-jitsu school. I put a lot of money into it, and I don't have it to make a living. I have it because A, I like to teach.
Yeah.
B, I like that there's people there that pay to fight with me, and it makes sure that I have training partners because, as you know, Shintaro, they tend to disappear after a while. At least my members stay, right? Yeah. And 3, it allows me to hire my friends so that they can make a little bit of money, and I enjoy the community in which it revolves around, and people are paid to be there. I like the community. I like my students. So it's not a profit center for me. I have different reasons.
Yeah.
But again, it makes enough that fulfills me and the time that I'm willing to put into the school.
Dude, that's a great lifestyle, man. If you could do that, you're a happy guy. No one yelling at you. No one's, coming down your throat about, bureaucratic political office nonsense. You're your own boss. You work out. You feel good. You teach some judo. You inspire some people. They inspire you in return. We get that too, right? Inspiration from your students, and it's just a great thing, It's such a great lifestyle. I wish more people can do it successfully, and I think it's the job of the governing bodies to make sure that gets done, And then the more the students see that, like Travis is succeeding in doing what he loves, can I do this in the future? It's like, yes, U.S. Judo will help you. Then more people will stick around in the sport, and the more people will have more dojos. Therefore, judo will grow.
The hard part is it's impossible to do when there's only a few people doing it. It's impossible.
I do have these theories of like these sweeping one thing that could help. For instance, like, I've spoken to Skelly about this. Skelly's, a genius. And no randori for beginner adults younger than 6 months, right? Things of that nature, and I think that needs to be done. People go into a beginner dojo when there's, 26 members, right?
Dude, I see so many of my comments, like even on social media, they're like, man, I walked into a judo school, all the black belts just beat the crap out of me. And I'm like, what is wrong with these schools?
Yeah, it's messed up.
How do you not segment your classes, or at least bare minimum, like take your competitive group and like put them in a little bubble, and take your new people and put them in a little bubble, and like oh.
It's really messed up how that is. It should never be that way. It goes on, man. It's a shame. It's like but yeah, that's one of the things that I would change, across the board, right? To help judo grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Too many injuries, period. And, judo's not taught properly, I think, most of the time. With if your sensei doesn't know, go ahead.
Jonathan's in here saying he doesn't like the idea because he's there for the randori. But, like, there's a difference between having a class where, like, your high school wrestler who is like a physical guy goes to like be with other physical people than, like, your first time, like, I've never done a sport in my life and I want to try out a martial art, and here I am doing judo because I think it's fun for me. Yeah. Right? Like, those are two different types of people.
Jonathan already has experience. He's been doing it for a while. He probably wrestled or does jiu-jitsu or whatever it is. Good for him. He could do randori no problem. I'm not saying that. The Jonathans can grapple, right?
See, this is what gets me. Like, people aren't listening to like the actual message that you're trying to say. They're trying to like find that like cut corner to like chop the statement out from its knees. Drives me nuts. I don't hate you, Jonathan.
You said Hanegoshi. It was Haraigoshi. It's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Why does it matter? That's a Hanegoshi. That's not Uchimata. Uchimata leg goes in between. It's like,
dude, he moved his leg a half inch.
It does not matter. Stop debating minutia. It's the biggest waste of time. Biggest waste of time. Yeah, so how else do you have ideas about growing the sport?
I think you need to take, like right now I'm just going to say it, and I don't mean to offend, the 80% of the population, but I'm going to do it. You guys are all, like, I hate to say it, but like the athleticism, the actual like athletic ability of the junior down. I don't even care about the seniors. You guys are dead to me. I don't care. The juniors down, the athletic ability in this country is awful. As just like, forget the judo knowledge. I'm talking about the pure athlete, and I know what chat's going to do. They're going to pull out like the 5 people that are athletic out of the country, right? They're gonna be like, well, what about this person? Well, what about that person? I'm saying, as a country, as a whole, we are on the very low side of the actual people who are athletic.
Yeah, probably.
So what I would do is I would take the next 8 years and I would say, you know what? We're just going to develop. We're going to focus on ourselves. And we're going to develop. And I would actually turn all these little like unathletic but highly educated kids to actually be an instructor, and groom them to teaching classes and growing that totem pole, so that when they get to that black belt and they're 18 years old, I can hand them a $30,000 school and say, hey, go make 80 grand a year. You don't need to go to college, right? I'll make you 100 grand a year. Don't worry about it. You don't need to go to college. Go school online while you teach judo all day, right? You'll have a 4-hour break. Take your classes then.
Yeah.
Get your college degree in 6 years instead of 4.
Yeah.
Right? But I would plan on that so that they can start opening up those schools, and they're actually educated instructors that have been teaching for 8 to 10 years by the time they're 21.
Yeah.
They're not 30 going, yeah, this kid's got some talent. I'm going to coach him to the Olympics with no actual experience.
Yeah. True. Yeah, man, I think...
hey, Blinken. Yeah, $80K a year. No degree. No problem running a judo school. No problem. $80K a year. You do it full time. That means you're running 7 a.m. classes. That means you're running kids 3 to 3:45, 3:45 to 4:30, 4:30 to 5:30, 5:30 to 6:30, 6:30 to 8. 8 to 9:30, like you're running classes all day and you're teaching, and you got a program with 200 students, right? 200 students times 150 a month, that's 30K. That's 30K a month, guys.
60 grand a year, yeah.
Oh,
it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, People
and it's judo. It's something that you, right? Yeah. As the American judoka keep telling me, like, you do it for the love of the sport.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it. Nope. Not worth it. Oh, drive me nuts.
It does drive me nuts. If you love it, go ahead and sign $1 million lease and then go really try to
go do it. Go love it. Love it forever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not advocating dropping out of school or quitting your job or anything like that, but this labor of love stuff and judo you don't do for money. Like, I've had guys who come to my club that are like, I'm not, I've never paid for judo in my life, Why would I pay a mat fee? I was like, all right, you're not getting on the mat. It's not fair to my students who are paying members. I'm not just going to let you get on the mat for free just because you're a black belt from whatever country you're from. You know what I mean?
But guys,
stop.
My time has a dollar amount to it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is my free time right now. I do this because it's fun.
You could probably phrase it a little bit, more friendlier than that.
No, I don't care.
I'll phrase it better for you. How about this?
No.
Try this private lesson, okay?
$500.
Hour. You're not paying for that hour. It's not $500 for that. It's for the 20 years of judo that you've put in beforehand. So you have the ability to teach them properly.
No, but they don't understand that because they don't value the knowledge.
I mean,
they don't pay for the knowledge. If I right now started a GoFundMe page that said, "Hey guys, like, I want to come back to the Olympics. I need $30K to do it. Help me out. Because I'm not funded by USA Judo, but I want to come back and win an Olympic gold medal."
Yeah.
I could get it. I come back and I say, "Hey guys, I want to start teaching judo across the country. Who wants a seminar to pay me $5K a seminar for the weekend?" I got nobody. Right?
Zero.
The mentality of the country isn't there.
Yeah, it's true. There's definitely a discrepancy there. Yeah, it's a shame. What do you think about the GoFundMes that are popping up?
Noah, hold on one second. Noah, why is judo not as popular as jiu-jitsu? You know why? You know why? Because there's not enough people out there running schools with a sign on the street that says, "Learn judo now." That's why.
That and the injury rate's a lot higher, and the learning curve is different too, right? I think those are
think about it. But think about it right now, Shintaro. Right? Judo people attribute jiu-jitsu success to being affiliated with the UFC, and that is 100% wrong. 100% wrong. It's successful because there's guys out there running schools, paying for Google AdWords, paying for Facebook ads, paying for street signs, paying for flyers, running jiu-jitsu out of schools to try to gain more students, right? There are actually hundreds, thousands of people right now that are going to wake up tomorrow morning and try to attack the community with the word of jiu-jitsu to gain students.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
You know what judo people do? They open up the doors and say, "Figure it out." Maybe they show up, maybe they don't.
You know what? It's because that's how they learn from their senseis previous. But the times have changed, right? So they too have to evolve. They have to understand that those days are long gone now,
Call ourselves Kano Jiu-Jitsu instructors and charge $200 a month.
Man, that's it's true, man. It's true. It's a shame, it's a shame. But yeah, judo is hanged up, and it's
Sevi Lee, I can't say it enough. He's talking about the 4 Ps of marketing because he keeps listening to my rants. He's like, "I don't understand why this is so complicated." He's like, "I don't know either. I got no idea. I got nothing."
Yeah. I don't think people know how to teach judo either. That's
100%. They are clueless. So. That's why I wanted to make those like 4 buckets. Remember with the athletes we talked about at the beginning? I wanted to make those like little buckets and be like, "Look, if you think your player is going to be an Uchimata guy because he's 6'3", 81 kilos, and he's going to be tall and lanky, teach him these things, and he'll get some success."
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to follow your curriculum of like Hanigoshi and like the Kodokan style of judo, right? Because that's not going to necessarily make your student happy. You've got to give them like a little bit of success early to get them hooked.
Definitely.
Right?
That's the problem too, right? You learn Osotogari first, and then you go try it in Randori. It never works, for a very, very long time, unless you're a freak athlete to begin with. So that first taste of success, it's just too far between from the moment that they step on the mat to the moment that they achieve that first taste of success.
Yeah. James, thank you for the super chat.
Is it one of my Jameses?
James Shackleford?
No, I don't know.
Don't understand why people that drop in don't want to pay the mat fee. I took a couple of classes at Oishi Judo, paid a fee and a judo membership. Yeah, I don't get it. It's crazy for me to understand, and I would love to have somebody on here who is the exact opposite as to like, no, I'm standing my ground. This is why I do it, and this is why it should be done this way, and this is how we're gonna grow to be this way. And you know what the number one argument is that I get from people, and this just it makes me want to blow my brains out. I just like, I just want to like strangle them for this, right? Is they go, well, look at all the success we've had with this program. Because we've had Rhonda, we've had Travis, we've had Kayla. Like, you weren't there when I was eating, like, top ramen because I couldn't afford food. Or, like, trying to figure out how to pay my rent. Or, like, deciding whether I wanted to eat or pay for gas to get to the club. But, like, people see, like, oh, but you reached the highest ends. But you don't know, like, I shouldn't have to suffer that much due to lack of resources.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's so unfair that you have to say, well, they've succeeded, so it can be done. You just have to go do those things. Like, we should, the generation before should be trying to make it easier and better for the next generation.
Yeah.
Not the, hey, let's challenge them even more and be a dick about it because I went through it, so I'm gonna be an extra dick to you because somebody was a dick to me at some point.
Dude, I'm telling you, if every dojo doubled their membership right now, tomorrow they'll have the money to say, you know what, I'll pay $5,000 for Travis Stevens seminar or an Adonis seminar or this or that.
Yeah.
You know what? This kid can't pay his dues because he's broke or whatever it is, family situation. You know what? I'm going to waive his membership. Completely fine. Kid, you can't eat or put gas in your car to go to practice. You know what? Let me take care of that. Right? And it allows the flexibility of the owners to be able to provide some of these resources back into the community. Right? We have to keep the money within judo, right? That drove me crazy. You know, it drives me crazy. It's like, you know, you're spending money at Starbucks, man. You know, Starbucks, SoulCycle, you name it, you're spending it. You know, we don't expect free shit from Travis. You know, don't expect, right? And it's just that rhetoric has to change, and it's our job to educate the people.
You know what's crazy? When I was an athlete,
yeah,
we didn't realize this, but then once we realized it, we just kept doing it. As an athlete, I used to show up to tournaments to try to, like, sit behind a table and, like, put a poster out and say, hey, it's like $10 a poster, I'll sign it, I'll take a picture with your kid because I'm raising money to, like, go do this thing, right?
Yeah.
All the time. And you used to make like a decent amount. You used to make a couple $100.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's crazy? You put a donation box there instead of like an actual price point, you make 3 times as much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd make like $1,000 at an event. Because people would be dropping like hundreds and 50s and 20s. Some people would be dropping $1. Some kids would just come up and like, hey, my mom's not here. Can I just have a poster? Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, people, like, you would make so much more asking for a donation because that's our type of community.
Yeah. Dude, let me start ranting about judo tournaments.
Here we go. I love it. Let's go. Let's go.
I have my biggest issue with judo tournaments.
I'm going to get a coffee just for this.
Dude, it takes all day. Takes all day. Right? Dude, a 5-year-old doesn't need the same mat space.
Oh, drives me nuts.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Why are there only 4 matches going right now? You know why? They're 5 and 6-year-olds. They don't need that space, right? I've seen tournaments in France and Japan. They have 30 matches going on at once.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to a tournament in Japan. It was like a high school tournament, like a scrimmage tournament. They probably had 300 competitors there.
Dude, I went to Scuba. They fought 4 matches at Scuba. 4 matches at Scuba in the dojo, and it was the whole tournament. They fought 4 mats in the dojo, not even full regulation. They put tape.
Yes.
Black tape, right? Yeah. And they had all the draws handwritten, taped to the wall, and all the kids were the borders from the wood.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
They just figured it out.
300 people tournaments run in 2 hours.
Andrew, I'll cut off Shintaro all I want. I don't care.
Who's saying that? Is one of my guys?
Andrew Marson.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for sticking up for me. But no, I'm serious. Like, dude, why? You know, like, you shouldn't have to go to a tournament and stay there for 8 hours, 9 hours. It should be an in and out situation. 9 to 12, you get to go home, watch football, eat lunch, hang out with your wife, girlfriend, whatever you know, kids, right? It should be like that. You know, it should be run more efficiently, right? Better, just everything about it just drives me nuts. You know
what's crazy? People in judo feel like they have to like one up the next guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like they feel like, well, it's like this is how a judo tournament's run. Like, why can't you? You know what's one of the most profitable tournaments you could ever run? White belt only, white yellow belt only. Kids tournament done.
Oh, kids
tournament takes 3 hours. Takes 3 hours, and you'll get more people participating at that, and you'll be done so much faster. But you could do that. You could do that across the board.
Yeah.
Right? Open up your dojo, put some things on the mat. I used to do it as a kid. We used to drive down to local dojos and just compete.
Yep. It was good times.
Oh.
But, you know, the timing needs to change, man, and the timing and then the leadership. You know, it's like I've presented this to every single tournament director in New York and New Jersey. I've said to him, like, dude, I'm not supporting your tournament if I'm there till 9 p.m., 8 p.m., you know? Adults don't go till 5, 6 p.m. They're winning in at noon. I'm not going. I'm not supporting.
Oh, I lost your audio. I can hear you now.
It's like a little noise. Is that yours or mine?
That would be my coffee maker. Yeah, it is pouring coffee right now, and it's probably cutting you off because it's too loud. Let me mute myself.
All right, so it's like, what were I talking about? I can't remember what I was talking about now.
You were ranting about being there at 9 p.m. and then the seniors weighing in the afternoon, but the coach has to be there all day.
No, it's just like the worst thing on this planet, right? And it's like I've said to every tournament director, I'm not supporting it. I'm not going to stay there till 5 or 6 p.m., 9 p.m. And they're like, dude, guarantee, man, you're out there. You're out by 3. Last year we had, 400 competitors. We were out there by 4. I don't believe them. And then I said to him, like, a 4-year-old doesn't need the same mat space for competition. They don't need one ref, that scoreboard and the thing. They don't need that. And then every single one of them, like, oh, you have to give them the spotlight. Every parent wants to see their kid on that spotlight. And yeah, I get it as a parent.
I don't even think that's true.
Biggest waste of time. Why couldn't they just cut that thing into like little smaller stuff? They do this in France. They do this in Japan. They do it everywhere.
They should take a full mat area. Yeah. And just draw like a big like plus sign in the center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'd finish in quarter of the time, especially the kids section. You know what I mean? You could bang it out, boom, 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 right? And you have all the draws ahead of time. It's like, you're going to be on mat. And I love the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu weigh-in system. You weigh in mat side, you go out on the mat. I love that for adults too. That way you don't have to show up at noon and wait for your match at 5 or 6 p.m., right? It's like, all right, we're going to do 4 matches on per mat. We're going to have 10 kids matches going on all at the same time. Guarantee the kids are done in 2 hours, 11 o'clock. All right, we're going to start adult divisions now. You're coming in and your match is at 11:30. You step on the scale 11:30, you run on the mat and you compete. You're done. You get to have lunch. You get to have dinner. You get to have the rest of your day. Coaches aren't there all day. Boom, boom, boom. It's over, right? That way, I'm more inclined to take all my students.
But if you knew like every other weekend as a coach you had to compete, but it was only going to take you from 9 to 1 on a Saturday, but you knew like weekend 1 was like your kids, you knew weekend 2 was like your teenagers, you knew weekend like 3 was like your adults, and it just spanned, 8 weeks for 3 tournaments, you could compete all year.
You could do it all year.
It would be like a few, but they try to like bulk load all the events.
Yeah. No, it's the worst.
Sometimes there aren't enough refs. You don't need refs. Judo's not that complicated. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you guys are you got to change your way of thinking. Your way of thinking.
I mean, I do, yeah, you want qualified refs, but this is the thing that drives me crazy. People are always yelling at the refs, right? It's like if you go out there and throw the person, and if you don't leave the match up into the ref's hands, right? You want to be in control of that. If you're leaving it up to the ambiguous, like, oh, was it or was it not? You've already sort of, right? You know what I mean? Like, you don't need the best refs in the world.
No, Rubik's, my point isn't like, well, you don't need refs. You just need people who are willing to stand there and just half award matches and give out penalties, right? Like, we're talking about like grassroots level. Like, I hate going to events and watching coaches and like black belts screaming at referees. I'm like, guys,
yeah, I hate that.
This is a local tournament. Your kids suck at judo, right? That's why we're at a local tournament. You suck. And you know what? Those refs are on the same level as your kids. We are all here just trying to learn and get better. Yeah. Your job as a coach is to watch your athlete and see how you can improve. Right? We're not talking national level tournaments here. Yeah. We're talking the one that the guy who owns a school down the road is putting on, right? Just out of the gracious of his heart, because he's going to make a few extra bucks, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? And they freak out like it's the end all be all. And I'm like, what are we doing?
It's a mess. It's definitely not ideal. And I do think there's a completely different segment that's an untapped market that Taekwondo does, Karate does. Have a demonstration division. You probably not going to agree with me.
No, 100%. I'm right there with you. I 100% believe there's sport and there's martial arts, and you can compete in both. Then we could even go like Sambo style MMA gloves, headgear, right, and do combat judo. Why not?
Think of what percentage of your athletes compete. Every dojo, let's just say on average, 10% of the dojo competes.
I'd say it's higher than that. I'd say it's probably around 30 to 40. Because when you say compete, like I would hope that all these people here that have schools are running like in-house tournaments to let the kids kind of get their feet wet with competing and learning, or they have some kind of local thing, white belt tournament that they go to. Like I would put it, 40, maybe 60%.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
or have competed.
Right. But I'm talking like the average dojo. It's a lot less than that. 10%, 20%, right? So there's 80% of that student population that aren't getting any exposure to composition whatsoever. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. There needs to be a division for those people. White belt. Go out there and demonstrate 5 of your favorite techniques with a partner, with an uke. Go out there. Taio. Boom. Ochi. Boom. Osoto. Boom. Okay, your turn.
A choreographed like set.
Something. And it doesn't need to be a kata. It doesn't need to be a long, full-blown thing. It could just be 5 throws, right? Judges rate, and then they give out medals. How happy are these people who can't quite do randori in competition because the risk is insanely high, right? But they could still get a taste of getting a little nervous in front of everyone and showing,
Like public speaking, man. It's hard.
Dude, working towards something. Have that. I've been preaching this nonstop. And if you run 20 mat spaces, you don't need a lot of space just to do throws like that.
Nope.
Right? You could have 40 people.
Don't they have like dance competitions where like they dance to like they just keep going until they like pull people off and there's only a few people left?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You could do something like that. Like, hey, I just want to see your technique. When I see a bad one, you're out.
Yeah. There we go. Something like this. That way, can you imagine you run a tournament with 1,000 competitors, you're out by 1, 2 o'clock every single time. Of course, people are going to debate like, venue this and venue that, but seriously though, like if something like that was in place, like I would totally support, right, that type of a thing, because it's good for my students. It's good for everybody. You know what I mean? It's good for the sport. That's why Taekwondo is so successful.
Yeah. And karate, too.
Dude, I don't know if you know any Taekwondo dojo owners.
Nope.
I have a friend that runs a Taekwondo school, and I know people have their opinions about Taekwondo schools. But let me tell you something, man. They do a good job running a tight ship, right? And it's fun. I took a Taekwondo beginner class for like a trial to see what this guy was doing. Let me tell you, man, it was fun. It was so fun. Like, dude, he was giving me high fives. I wanted to sign up on the spot.
Because he's energetic. He's excited. You know why? Because what he sees in you is $1,500 by the end of the year.
Dude, yeah, man.
He's excited.
Way more than that for Taekwondo, man. But, dude, this guy was telling me about the tournaments that they go to. They have all these divisions and medals and awards. I completely forgot that I even did martial arts for a second. And I was like, dude, I should sign up for this. It was crazy, you know what I mean? And judo doesn't really have that, Who gets excited about competition? Not that many people, You're different. You're a freak of nature.
This guy.
But 99% of the people, like, foaming at the mouth, like, man, I cannot wait to go sit all day at the New Jersey Open and be there till 8 p.m. Maybe I won't even have enough. They were having a competitor. I've been to tournaments when the volleyball team had rented the space at 7 p.m. and then they had to break down the mats and they said, "Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. You guys waited all day. It's volleyball teams coming in. You guys have to go. We'll give you a refund." And my guys were like, what the hell is this? Like, I was sat here since noon. It's 7 p.m. I'm not going to get a match? It's like that should never happen. You know what I mean? And it can be, people can do something about it, but they don't. That really drives me nuts, Travis. That's why I don't support most of these tournaments. It's just,
guys, we got them all riled up. I love it.
I'm sure you agree with me on this stuff,
I love it. You're so riled up.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to talk to somebody who understands some of this stuff too, because my students are probably sick of hearing it, But yeah, how are the viewers? Are they a lot of people watching still?
Yeah, we're at 140 right now, so not terrible.
Yeah, well, live chat. Any interesting questions rolling in?
Not so much. Everyone's just kind of like listening to the rant. Like, yeah, I've trained in Canada, of course. I'm an international player, so that one wasn't that good. The UFC comment came up, but I kind of want to ignore it because, again, people thinking that if you just attach yourself, like the people who say judo should be closer attached to the UFC, you are probably the guy that's a BJJ blue belt writing to big companies asking for a sponsorship. You're that guy. Like, I'm just gonna reach for the stars here, and maybe I'll get lucky. But you know what? At the end of the day, even if that company takes you and writes to you, you're still underperforming. So it's kind of like the argument that you see in like all these GoFundMe accounts, like, oh, if they just gave me some money, if they just paid for all my stuff, they got everything against me. You know what? If I gave you $1 million, it's not going to change your work ethic. You're not going to get more talented because I gave you a bunch of money. Right? You win and lose not because your bank account is big. Like, yeah, it's going to help you do certain things. Yeah. But if you were a nutrition freak and you really watch your nutrition, more money's not going to help you. You're lazy because you don't go to the gym, you don't go to practice, you don't put out a practice. More money doesn't help that. People think more money solves all their problems. Oh, drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
Jiu-Jitsu, they do some good stuff, in their organizations. Some of these super fights and, these, like you just said, the blue belts that are right into corporate sponsors, they're bought into that dream, dude, right? They're bought in, There's no green belts in judo that are right into corporations. And, maybe we need a little bit more of that. They're completely on the opposite side of the spectrum. I know these BJJ athletes who I talk to sometimes that are like, man, I'm living the dream. I'm going to be somebody. It's like, how long have you been doing it? Probably like 2 years. I'm really good at it, though. I'm trying to get to Worlds. I just fought in Worlds, and I want to win Worlds. And it's like, are you delusional? Right? It's like, no, I shouldn't say. That's so messed up.
I love it.
It's the worst of me. It's like I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to you. Right? I completely forget that there's an audience here. But like it's judo needs a little bit more of that too. The smoke and mirrors, the dream, right? There needs to be a dream there, right? In judo, there is no clear dream.
You know what killed judo in America? You know what killed it? Like really, like it was already dying, but you know what? Like put that knife in the back and then they gave it like a twist and then like yanked it back out.
What is it?
The World Tour. That killed it. That was like the final straw. That was the knife in the back because everybody, like you said, they had that dream. They could never go to Europe. They could never travel. But it wasn't that hard to be top 8 in the country. But you had that dream. If you were 8 in the country, you could go to judo twice a week at home. You could go to a couple of national tournaments. You could take weekends off. You could take a month off of judo, right? And you could tell all your friends, you could tell your family, guys, I'm training for the Olympics. I'm going to the Olympic trials. Guys, I'm going, right? I have this shot, right? Here we go, guys. Guys, if you just gave me a little bit of money, right? If you just funded me, right? Guys, I can do this. Guys, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I can do this. I have a shot because I've qualified. And if I go to the games, I could win it, right? Guys, I'm there. I'm an American. We win a lot of medals at the games, right? And I qualify for the trials, so I'm good, right? It's the American trials. I'm good. right? That whole story, I heard it time and time again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know,
it's that dream.
Whole qualification system, you know, it wasn't the craziest thing, right? Because all you had to do was qualify your weight class. Someone had to do it. Someone had to qualify for it in the Pan Ams, right?
Which was easy.
Was that?
It was easy. That was easy.
What you got to do is place top 6 in the Pan Ams, and your weight class is qualified. And then you just have to have a good day and then win the U.S. thing. That's it, right? So it's like there was always a dream. There's that haymaker throwing, you know, I only did judo 3 times, but I'm in relatively good shape. Can I have a good day and beat, you know, these guys? Potentially, you know, you train one technique because you know that guy's got thrown ippon senagi, whatever it is. There was that shot. Now with the world system, there's no shot. You can't do that anymore. You know, because the first international tournament you're going to go to, you're going to draw a top seed because you're going to go in unseeded and you're going to get smoked. Right? You're probably going to get injured. You know, so that definitely kills. I don't think it killed judo as a whole because there's a slew of people out there who aren't even exposed to the, like most of my judo students.
No, but what did it? But what did it in the long term, right, Shintaro, was all those guys who were top 8, right? Like the top 8s, the top 10s, the top 12s that are going to vie for that final spot to be able to tell all their friends for the rest of their lives. Guys, I fought in the Olympic trials. Like, hey, man, like, I'm top 8. I used to be top 8 in the country, man. I was a somebody. Yeah. While the real jokers are looking at it like, who are you? Yeah. Where'd you come from?
Yeah.
And when you took that away, you took away all those people that could have opened up clubs, that could have stayed in the sport. Right when that went, you saw USA Judo tournaments drop in half.
It did.
Because they were like, I got no reason for this.
You're absolutely right, man. And I told that story myself too, man. When I was 19, I beat Mikey Pedro, you know, for 3rd at the Rendezvous or something, which gave me a B rank, which immediately shot me up to number 1 in the country. All of a sudden, I'm 19 and I'm number 1 in the country, and now I'm fooling myself into thinking like, dude, I'm the best in the country. Like I could freaking make the Olympics like right now. You know what I mean? And then it's like a dream that I'm telling myself and telling other people. And then, you know, it was a much more longer road ahead. But my story was that, right? And there's a lot of people just like me during that time period telling the same story.
Yeah.
And this guy is number 7th in the country, like, and you know, I'm butting head to this guy in the dojo doing good. Let me go out there too, right? And then so it was like this cascading effect of everybody going out there and then trying out for the nationals and trying out to get a B level at the Rendezvous. You remember that tournament? You know, like now it's like you're gonna.
Now you have everybody. Now you have everybody doing this. They're like on the world circuit, right? And they're like, guys, but I fought in Paris. Hey man, I fought in Japan. I went to the Worlds. You didn't even qualify. Your only tournament in the calendar year was the World Championship. Think about that. Yeah. Right? Like, you guys are crazy. Oh, drives me nuts.
World champion, dude. I'm trying to win the Worlds this year. What division? It's like, you know, the white belt division. You know, the 39.
Oh, you're going BJJ. You're going BJJ on me. I love it. He just changed sports on us.
I did. I just completely changed sports on us. Love it. But yeah, it's a freaking thing, man. But you know, I think there's a future for judo. I think, man. I mean, I'm in it. You're in it.
There's a big one. There's a huge market.
Tons of potential.
Right. That's why I was telling people in my US like how to fix USA Judo, like the rant. I was like, I would run coaches courses and turn them into levels, and I would go to all the BJJ black belts, and I'd be like, hey. Here's how I'm going to up all your revenues in your judo, in your schools, right? You're going to be able to teach kids judo as a separate class. So you can not only up your membership for all your students by $30, but you can charge an entirely new demographic because you know what? You're a professional coach. You can put judo, and there's already a market looking for it. They just can't find it. But now you can teach all the white belts as level 1. And then all those people, because those jiu-jitsu guys, they love to compete. Yeah. They would jump into the USA Judo scene and wreak havoc with all their titles, all their medals, all their promotion posting. Like it would jump up USA Judo's membership, and it would give us a marketing platform.
Yeah, dude, why don't they make mandatory? Like, I mean, maybe they did, but like if you're on the world circuit, it's just so dumb to compete at the nationals period anymore, right? If you're trying to get world points, why risk the injury? there's no reason why you would go to the nationals. When was the last time you fought the U.S. nationals?
I don't know.
Jesus, you see? That's.
In fairness, I haven't competed in 4 years. I've been here since like 7. It's been a long time. Yeah. I didn't do it in 16, obviously, because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
I didn't do it in 15 because I had a concussion and I couldn't walk in a straight line.
Yeah.
14, I don't know. I feel like there should be a database for this, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think U.S. Judo should make U.S. Nationals the place to compete if you want money from the organization. Make the athletes compete for the money there, for the stipend there.
You know what I thought? I thought they should put the Nationals like December like 20th, or like December like 19th, like at the end of the year. Yeah. And then the winner is the number 1 person in the country for the rest of the year. Or at least like pull off like a thing like Brazil has where like you make them fight every quarter for that funding for that quarter. Like, hey, you want to pick your tournaments? Show up here, win it.
Yeah.
Give me your tournament selections. Go.
Yeah.
Because it would get the U.S. people to like actually see. But I would anticipate if USA Judo did that, they would have to stream these events so that the American Judo people could actually watch. Because you actually need to market your top players and turn them into heroes and champions within the community. So people get excited and they know them.
Dude, I don't know one athlete right now in U.S. Judo.
Because they don't do anything.
I mean, not even that. Like, I should be able to have access to the nationals from last year and be able to access highlight reels from the 73, like 81 prospects, this kid, that kid, this guy beat this guy. Just like short clips on YouTube or something. They don't even have that, They should have that.
Hey, you know what's funny? They have a full-time marketing person. You should write them an email.
Who is it?
I think you should just write them an email. I think you should just be like, hey, customer service at USA Judo. I think that's the email. I have no idea. You should be like, hey, I have this idea that could really like, you guys should hire a marketing person. Oh, wait, you have one. I found the link on USA Judo. And then you say, you should get this person to do this because it would really help out.
Good. Here's one better. Why don't you invite that person on your channel and then just ambush him? It's like, what do you do? All day. How come I don't know?
You know what we should do?
One champ is right now.
Like, you know what we should do? We should just have Keith, the CEO, on here just to answer everyone's questions. Just be like, hey, because you know what my firm belief is? I don't think the people who actually run the organization are bad. I just don't think we, as like outsiders, understand like the actual like issues within the organization, and I don't think they tell us. Right? It's not our business, right? No, but I feel like they are so bogged down with like these petty things that we have no idea even exist. Like as far as I know, they get 1,000 emails a day from like concerned members.
Yeah.
Like doing stuff. I have no idea.
It's like, am I good to go compete at this thing or this nonsense thing? And yeah, man, do you remember back in the day trying to organize anything on the airplane trips and the visas through those guys? And it was a hassle, and you'd call in the national office and then, it's just the infrastructure is not set up enough to handle. Yeah, it's mess.
But then what do they do? Like, I would be curious. I have no idea.
Maybe it's just a cushy job and they don't really want to do much, I mean, maybe it's I don't really know. I don't know. I just who knows? Who knows? Maybe you run for president next year and then we'll vote you in.
I don't know if you know this, but Kayla actually ran for the athlete seat and lost.
Wow, that's interesting.
By like a landslide. She got 6 votes out of like 60.
Who won?
Nick Kosser from Jason Morris Judo Center.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
We're going back a few years.
Nick Kosser, that's a throwback name.
Yeah, I try to like get rid of useless information in my brain so my memory doesn't like, when was the last time I competed at senior nationals? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like useless. Like get rid of it. But yeah, she lost. I remember like because she had applied for it when I applied for the under 23 coaching job, and they're like, Travis, you're not qualified. Like you can't have it. And then she applied for the athlete representation on the board for USA Judo, and then lost by a landslide.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Who'd you lose to for the U23 position?
Oh, they decided to just not hire anybody.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Sebby's like, who the F is the marketing person? You know what? Maybe I should look that up right now.
Look it up.
Look it up. Here we go. We're doing it. Shintaro thought we were only going to be on here for like 30 minutes, but you know what? We're doing it.
Yeah, might as well. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this is a good time, man.
Where do I go? I go usjudo.org, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. COVID-19 update on the home screen. Okay. Wait, I got to make my screen a little bit bigger. Let me move this. Let me see here. Where would I go?
It'll be about board of directors, committees.
That's a thing on here? I actually don't go to this website, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm like fumbling around. There's careers. Wait, there's a careers tab on here. I gotta click this because I didn't even know this existed. USA Judo is recognized by the blah 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 blah. Job opportunities none at this time. USA Judo Club job opportunities none. USA Judo in schools job opportunities none. Internships none. How do you not have an internship? Isn't that free labor?
Free labor. Oh, dude, Crystal Ransom is the athlete's representative alongside Nick Kosser, according to this.
Yeah, Nick. So she lost to Nick Kosser because I think Crystal was in there with Brian Olsen, and when Brian went out, Crystal goes up, and you vote a new person in. They're like you don't vote 2 in. I think you vote 1 in. USA Judo staff. Here we go.
At-large director Devin Cohen.
Keith Bryant, CEO. Corinne, Director of Memberships. Ed Liddy, Director of Athlete Performance. Cecile, it's a guy. Bleeker, Communications Specialist. Sherry Wilson, Director of Development. I didn't even know that was a job.
There's a lot of...
Christine, Financial Consultant, so not an employee, a consultant. Cara, Manager of Marketing and Development. There we go. Lauren, High Performance Manager. So we have a Director of Athlete Performance. We have a Director of Development. We have a High Performance Manager. We have a High Performance Administrative Assistant. And then we have Austin, a Membership and Special Project Coordinator, as well as Safe Sport Liaison. He actually just emailed me today.
Oh, did he?
Vaughn Anderson, Technical Services. Technical Service. So it's Cara. She's the marketing person.
Yeah, dude, I bet you these people are already booked to the gills with tasks. I mean, I can't imagine. That's not enough people, I feel like, to run all that they need to run, right?
Oh, somebody threw it in the chat. They went and did it for me.
Jesus. I mean, dude, we should know who 81. We should look at the website right away and be like, who's the 81 champ right now? Who's our star, right? USA Wrestling, Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake. Like, how do I know more about the stars in wrestling than judo? You know what I mean?
Hold on, let's take a look here. I'm on the homepage of USA Judo. Personal friendship forged through international sport sparks hope during COVID pandemic. Yeah, they're just holding a bunch of masks. I don't know what that is. Approved promotions, May 15th. Here we go. 2020 promotions. Can I click on this? Is this a clickable? Whoops. 2020 promotions. Yodon, John Jane. Isn't that like a 19-year-old kid that lives in England that competes at 90 or 100 kilos?
What's his name?
John Jane.
I don't know.
Isn't he that British kid?
What are you looking at right now?
I found a button that said promotions for 2020. I guess they only do it one time a year.
You want to look at the senior national roster right now?
Oh, let's do it. Athletes. Seniors.
You want to watch?
National ranking roster 2020. I'm gonna go male.
What weight do you want to see?
Do I get to? Oh, it just scrolls.
I wonder who maintains this.
I have no idea.
You want to look at 81, 90?
I have 60 kilos. Adonis Diaz has 2 results. No, three results. He has a what?
Dude,
4 points from Pan Am Games. Is that what that means? 6 from Canada, and 3. It doesn't even give you the name.
Yeah.
Is there like a cheat sheet?
I think there's like a, I don't know, maybe at the bottom. I don't know.
We have an open weight class for USA Judo.
Yeah. They only do it at nationals, I think.
That would make sense because the points are 5, 3, 2, 1, 1.5.
They're all C-level athletes. I like this ranking situation. They should put numbers on it, 1, 2, 3, just at least like people could screenshot and share it on social. It's not even shareable on social.
There's not enough people. It's just there's only a couple people.
Yeah.
Wow, Nick DiPapolo is not number 1? What?
Well, that's interesting.
He is number 2. Salama, shout out to Salama, is number 1 in the country. Somebody screenshot that, turn it into a meme, tag USA Judo, and share it on social. Let's go. Wow.
I just never about Nick. Something like Nick has been number 1 in the country for the last one. Dude, he's been in it for a long time, DiPapolo. Right? He's been at it. This kid, Nick Yanetska, is getting pretty good. You ever see him fight?
Yeah, Nicky?
Yeah.
Where is how do you have the number 1 person in the country?
Yeah.
He got 6 points from Argentina and 5 from the President's Cup. And he has an A level.
Not the President's Cup.
What was that?
I don't think that's the President's Cup. PRZ?
What would it be?
I don't know.
Well, then why do you think it's not that?
I don't know. I can't imagine the President's Cup result being PRZ. I just don't think they would put that in the...
Nick's only points are Pan Am Games in 2019. Wow.
But I mean, this is the crazy thing. Like, you could take 5th at these World Cups, right, and then not be on this. Actually, I guess 5th is still points. Maybe they should just do away with the domestic point system and just have ranks.
Wait, but somebody in chat is saying Nick moved up to 81 kilos this year.
Oh, that's right. Nick is at 81 now. This guy.
Wait a minute. How does he plan on qualifying for the Olympics at 81? He has no points right now.
He's been competing at 81.
Really?
Let's see. Yeah.
He's not even on the list for 81 on the U.S. roster.
I mean, I don't know. World ranking list, IJF. The IJF website is tight, right? I love it. Listen, Nick.
Yes, this is still live. Yeah, he's done 3 Grand Prix or so. Okay.
Yeah, he's 70th on the world ranking list right now at 81.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like the system, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, the world system.
I can tell you right now that nobody actually updates this or actually pays attention and updates this thing in a timely manner.
Is that right?
Yeah, because Jesse Butler is still on here.
Oh, shoot. That was a sad thing.
Yeah. And they probably figured since no events are going on, they just...
Yeah.
Because they're not fans of... Colton Brown is not number 1 in this country.
Man, Colton is...
Wow!
Yeah.
Guys.
Who is John Jane? Do you know who that is?
It's that British kid. Yeah, it's the British kid. Type his name in Judo Base. You'll see it.
Is he good?
I'm texting Colton right now. We're doing this. I gotta get Colton back on this thing, and we gotta do a live Q&A, and I gotta get him all riled up about why he's not number 1 in this country. But he's gonna qualify for the games.
Yeah, he is.
He's qualified for the Olympics, but he's not number one in this country. That's crazy.
It is, man.
How did that even happen?
Well,
I know the IJF system goes on a 2-year thing and we go on a 1-year thing, but still.
yeah. They should change this. They should really, I think, update this whole USA ranking system, right?
It's just crazy that it's like so backwards from.
Yeah, this spreadsheet looking thing. They've had this template since I don't even know, man, 15 years. Do you remember looking at this, Travis, back 15 years ago?
Oh yeah, for sure. I used to follow this thing like a hawk.
Yeah.
You used to look at the tournaments like, where are these people going? Where can I go? Like, how do I get this many points?
Now it doesn't really matter anymore. I wonder if Salama even knows that he's number one on this thing.
I bet you he doesn't.
See, that's a marketing failure too, because he's a local guy for me, a New York, New Jersey sort of a situation, and I didn't know he was number one in the country. You know,
I had no idea.
I mean, I figured he was up there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Crazy. Like, this is just.
So what are you doing tomorrow, Travis?
What's tomorrow? Tuesday?
Yeah.
Is today Monday?
What?
Damn, today is Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
You don't like Monday?
Actually, Angie's coming on tomorrow. I gotta tell her. Oh, we haven't looked at the females. Let's see where the females are at. Here we go.
All right, USA Judo rankings.
Angie has to be number one, yeah, by a long shot. She's actually got a special box because she has an A+. A+.
Oh, is that right? Is that really a thing?
It's a plus, yeah. She has plus.
A+.
We were actually so bad as a country that we wanted to feel important, so we took like the mid-level tournaments and called them an A, and then somebody actually medaled above it, and we went, we got to throw a plus in here because this is high level.
Oh, you know what? You're right. President's Cup. That was President's Cup. Because I see a C level, and then 2, and then Prez next to Jeanette Hong, so that's President's Cup. You're right. Caitlin Boisu's still competing, or Jarrell now?
Yep. Still active.
It's nice seeing some of these familiar names still, you know, that they're out there. Issa, I've been coaching her. She's awesome.
57, Mariah Holguin. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure she's a junior.
Maybe. I don't know. You see, I should know all the names. I should be able to scroll through social media and then see them and their highlight reels and all this stuff. It's kind of a shame that, you know.
But I think Amelia Fuentes is one of Justin Flores' students or like prodigies.
Yeah. He's killing it over there too with the judo over there, right? You see what Justin's doing these days?
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of exposure now. I love his. You don't
but that's my
follow
point. I do. But like, there's not enough people like him, me, and you like out there doing this, like marketing. Like, we're 3 people. Yeah. Where jiu-jitsu has 300 to 3,000 people doing what Justin's doing.
True.
Right?
Who's your favorite, I don't want to say influencer, but people, you know, content creators in the world of judo, jiu-jitsu?
None. I hate all of them.
But there's got to be 1 or 2 that you follow that's like, oh, man, you know?
No, we're all garbage.
Yeah.
All of us. Me, you, the lot of us. We all suck. You know why? Because there's not like a healthy competition. Like, we don't look at it as like, oh man, like so and so did this cool thing. Like, if I want to keep up, I got to do this thing. I got to outdo them. Like, there's not like a healthy competition to breed better and better results. Like, look at Keenan, right? Like, he's shooting out of like, now he has a school, but like, he was shooting out of his house with like bed sheets and like rolled mats and running a website worth like $200,000 a year. Yeah. But it's like the production value is not real. Like, he doesn't have a staff. Like, we're here in like our office, like, you know, making it up as we go.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's no like professionalism to anything we do. And if any of us are professional or have like a professional touch, it's Justin. Because him and his brother actually do this for a living.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like they're both like full on graphic designer, video editors at like the highest level of the industry.
Yeah.
You know, so but again, like there's nobody like pushing their envelope. It's not like Justin's stuff is like well thought out or has like this flair to it or this feel. It's all very different.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even have like a real brand to his Instagram account because it's like he does it one way for his, I think, soon to come like jflow.com website where like it's all white, right? He teaches a little bit of everything. I've actually never seen a full clip of him teaching. I've only seen the highlighted stuff.
Yeah.
But it, like that idea of like a brand and marketing your image and who you are and trying to always raise it to the next level, it just doesn't exist for us. So I feel like everything we do is like, yeah, it's okay. But if we were in the world of like professionals who did this for a living, they would smoke us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's not our strength, right? I mean, you don't have one jiu-jitsu person that produces content that you're like, oh, I like.
All garbage.
You know, I'm gonna say this. This is kind of unpopular opinion because people are kind of like, you know, Henry Gracie.
Yep.
Dude, I like his stuff, man. He speaks to the average.
Now, time out.
Yeah.
We can go down this crazy Gracie blue belt like predicament thing.
Yeah.
And I actually hate all of his content. But you know what I love?
Yeah.
I love his like energy and like his delivery of what it is he's saying. But I think how he does it could be done so much better.
You think so?
But he doesn't need to be on like, you know, random pieces of foam with like green tarp and like homemade dojo.
Yeah.
And like selling people on the idea of like, hey, go buy some foam from the store down the road and some tarp, and we're gonna pull it over each other with some 2x4s. I'm gonna show you guys how we can do this cheap.
So you have been seeing it. You have been watching it.
I do all the market research. I'm a marketer. That's what I do. I pay attention.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
Ben.
But that's what I mean by like professional. If somebody came along with his charisma,
he does.
But like, he really does. It's great, and the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And you know what? He sells that defense, like take care of yourself aspect that everybody else bashes.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
You know what? I don't care what you like, who you are. Like, if you're a girl,
good for him. You know, God bless him. Seriously. So, what's the next big thing in this content marketing situation? Do you think? What is your next? If you're thinking about striving and if you want the next thing and you're trying to get better and all this stuff, what do you think is going to go next?
I'm not really sure because it doesn't actually like as much as people like know that I run ads on here, you know as well as I do, those ads don't actually pay you what you're worth and your time. I do this just solely for like the fun of it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But you know, I'm not really sure because I don't know what the end game is. Like I look at like the IJF's like poll and they're at like 250,000 and it's like if that's like what the industry top shelf is, like, and you wanted to push the envelope, like, could you really go above that? Could you hit 1 million? Could you hit 500,000? Like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, where is that end reach?
Yeah. Tricky, man. Tricky.
So.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, not sure.
I think this is a good time for me to call it because it's getting pretty late. And I had a lot of fun. Thank you for... You have to do mine next. You have to do mine.
We got to pick a time.
You know, we have to do more collaborations. You know what I mean? We're not really competing over we were talking about the demographics of our viewership and things like this. And I have more of like a martial arts oriented sort of a, group. And I'm sure we share a lot of the same viewers, but, you coming on and doing for me and then, going back and forth, it's going to be good for both of us, I think, and this was actually a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect,
I had no idea. That's the best part. We'll just see what happens.
With the technical difficulties. I think it was a success, right?
Yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah, it was good. Good times. Good times. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Travis, as usual.
Until next time.
Yeah. Till next time, man. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
What's up, everybody? So hopefully you guys like that. Shintaro's off. We kind of went off a crazy tangent there. Didn't expect that, but it is what it is. If you guys liked what you saw, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm probably going to get killed at home because it's so late. But just two guys ranting passionately about what they like. There's no real opinions one way or another. Like I'll be the first one to tell you like my opinion on even like the judo in America and like fixing it. I may not be right. It's just a thought and an idea. I would need to get together in a room with other like-minded people to like really like hammer out and like problem solve a lot of the situations. But it's fun to just brainstorm and throw out ideas and get the community thinking, get the community involved, because at the end of the day, we all love the sport of judo and jiu-jitsu, and we're just trying to do what we think is best for the sport. So hopefully everybody had fun, and until next time, thank you guys.